Why do you let them get to you? That one comment, that sideways look, that fake smile. You feel it, don't you? That spark of irritation, that sting of offense, as if someone just reached inside your chest and twisted a wire. But here's the thing, they didn't. You let them, and every time you react, you hand them the remote control to your emotions. Most people don't want to see you calm, they want to see you crack. Because a reactive mind is a predictable mind, and a predictable mind is easy to manipulate. But what if you flipped the script? What if you trained yourself to never be bothered by anyone? Not the critics, not the liars, not even the people closest to you. What if you could walk through chaos with your peace untouched, your energy untouchable? This is Stoic Spark, and today we're going to hardwire that mindset into you, using ancient Stoic principles fused with a touch of dark psychology. Not to escape emotion, but to master it, to become the kind of person who sees through the noise and never lets it in. Before we dive in, drop a comment right now with the phrase, "I am my own fortress." Say it once, say it loud, or better yet, comment it 3 times and feel it settle in. Let's build that unshakable mind. Number 1, the world is not kind, and that's a gift. The world doesn't care about your feelings, it never has, and it never will. People will betray you, mock you, underestimate you, and the moment you expect the world to treat you fairly just because you're a good person, you've already lost. But here's the twist. That's not a curse. It's your opportunity. Because when you stop expecting kindness, every ounce of it becomes a bonus, not a requirement. When you accept that discomfort, rejection, and disrespect are part of the game, you stop flinching, you stop reacting. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Life's chaos becomes your training ground. Every insult, a representative. Every betrayal, a representative. Every fake friend, every jealous look, every cold shoulder, rep after rep, sculpting your emotional armor. And while others waste energy wishing things were different, you become the one who thrives in fire. Comment below again. I am my own fortress. Say it like a creed, because this is where the transformation begins. Number 2, you are not owed peace, you build it. Peace isn't given. It's not found in a yoga class or on a beach or after someone apologizes. Peace is built, like muscle. It's carved out of pressure, friction, and restraint. The problem? Most people treat peace like a delivery service. If they just respected me more, if life gave me a break, then I'd be calm. That mindset is weakness wrapped in victimhood. It gives everyone else the keys to your internal world. The Stoics taught that peace is created internally, not handed to you externally. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgment about things." In other words, it's not what they said, it's what you let it mean. You don't rise by hoping people will stop poking at your insecurities. You rise by removing the buttons they press. Every day you resist the urge to lash out, to overthink, to explain yourself to someone who doesn't deserve your energy. You lay another brick in the fortress. Because peace isn't soft. Peace is strength in absolute silence, and the most dangerous man in the room is the one who isn't bothered by a thing. Comment it again, louder this time. I am my own fortress. Burn it in your identity. You don't wait for peace, you build it. Number 3, people want control. Learn how to be untouchable. Let's be blunt, most people don't care about your peace. They care about your response. They poke, prod, guilt trip, gossip and gaslight, not always out of malice, but to see if they can control the emotional weather inside you. Why? Because control is power, and the easiest way to control someone is to make them react. Look around. The loudest ones in the room are the most easily manipulated. But the one who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't explain, justify, or defend, that person becomes a mystery. And in dark psychology, mystery equals dominance. This is the heart of Stoic strength. When you become emotionally untouchable, people don't know what to do with you. They lose their grip. You stop being a puppet, and they start feeling powerless. You're not avoiding emotion, you're mastering your signal. You choose when to speak, when to stay silent, when to walk away, with no need to prove anything. That's not coldness, that's control. So here's your reminder. Comment, "I am my own fortress," below. One more time. Say it like a code. Because when you become emotionally untouchable, you become unforgettable. Number 4, the mirror principle. What bothers you reveals you. Let's be honest, most of what upsets you has very little to do with the other person. That person who ignored your message, that friend who didn't invite you, that stranger who looked at you the wrong way. They didn't hurt you. They exposed you. Because the uncomfortable truth is this: what bothers you reveals you. Every emotional trigger is a message from your subconscious. When you feel disrespected and it instantly ruins your mood, it's not the disrespect itself, it's your dependency on being respected. When someone doesn't acknowledge you and your mind spirals into insecurity, you're not reacting to them. You're reacting to your own need to feel seen. That pain isn't new, it's old. They just happen to push the button. People are mirrors. They reflect the parts of you that are still unfinished, the wounds you've hidden beneath ambition, noise, or ego. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's not just philosophy, it's psychological warfare. Because once you stop blaming the world, you can finally start rebuilding yourself. When someone tries to provoke you and you don't flinch, that's power. When they insult you and you feel nothing, that's clarity. And when you feel the sting of offense and you pause to reflect instead of react, that's mastery. Your triggers are not your enemies, they are your assignments. So don't avoid them, study them, understand them, and then outgrow them. That's how you become untouchable. If that hit, comment below again, "I am my own fortress," not just for the algorithm, for yourself. Say it like a code, because that version of you who doesn't react, that's the version they can't control. That's the version you were born to become. Number 5, dark psychology, the power of emotional detachment. Emotional detachment isn't coldness, it's control. And in the world of dark psychology, control is everything. When people can predict your emotional response, they can manipulate you. They know exactly what to say to make you chase their approval. They know which words will keep you hooked, confused, offended, or obsessed. But when you become emotionally detached, not numb, but deliberately unaffected, you become unreadable. And unreadable is untouchable. Most people live in reaction mode. One bad text ruins their day. One passive-aggressive comment from someone they barely know sends them into an emotional spiral. But emotional detachment flips the power dynamic. It creates space between the stimulus and your response, and in that space you decide. You choose whether it deserves your energy, your time, your words. Most of the time, it doesn't. From a Stoic perspective, this detachment is sacred. Epictetus taught that the only true control we have is over our thoughts and choices. Everything else, praise, insults, betrayal, rejection, is out of our hands. And once you fully accept that, you stop being a slave to reaction. You become a strategist, a calm, surgical observer of your own mind. This is what terrifies people, not rage, not outbursts, but silence. Emotional detachment forces others to confront their own powerlessness over you, and in that stillness, you dominate without saying a word. Drop it in the comments again. I am my own fortress. Say it because you're no longer playing the same game. You're not fighting to be understood. You're operating on a higher level, where your peace is untouchable and your silence speaks louder than any argument ever could. Number 6. Stoic. Reframe. Indifference is power, not weakness. Indifference has been misunderstood for centuries. When people hear the word, they think of apathy, coldness, a lack of care. But that's not Stoic indifference, not even close. Stoic indifference is not about shutting down. It's about choosing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. It's not the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. And in a world that constantly demands your reaction, true indifference is an act of rebellion. Let's reframe the idea right now. You're not indifferent because you don't feel. You're indifferent because you refuse to be ruled. You've felt the chaos, you've felt the betrayal, you've felt the burn of humiliation, of disrespect, of rejection. But you've reached a level where you no longer allow those emotions to drive the car. They can ride in the back, but you're behind the wheel. This mindset is dangerous to people who depend on your reactivity. To manipulators, narcissists, and emotional vampires, your indifference is terrifying. Because the second you stop caring about their opinion, they lose control over you. When their insult doesn't get a rise out of you, when their silence doesn't trigger anxiety, when their praise no longer makes you feel validated, you've broken the cycle, you've unplugged from the game they play, and nothing is more powerful than that. Now let's bring it back to Stoicism. The ancient Stoics believed in the concept of preferred indifference, meaning there are things we might naturally prefer, like wealth, respect, health, love, but they are not necessary for a virtuous life. They are not in our control, so we must not let them control us. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still practiced detachment. He wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." Imagine that. A man with the entire Roman Empire at his feet, reminding himself daily that everything, even the throne, is temporary. If he can do that, so can you. But here's where the Stoic meets the strategist, where philosophy fuses with dark psychology. The moment you develop true indifference, people stop knowing how to move you. You become unreadable. And in a social game built on emotional leverage, being unreadable makes you untouchable. Think about it. Most people signal everything. You can tell when they're hurt, when they're jealous, when they're insecure. Their emotions spill out all over the place. And guess what? That makes them easy targets, easy to manipulate, easy to predict. But you're building a fortress, a calm exterior, a solid core. You don't flinch at shade, you don't chase attention, you don't engage in low-level drama. That silence, that stillness, that ability to walk away without flinching, that's not weakness, that's war strategy. And yes, there will be people who try to call you cold, distant, detached, but don't be fooled. That's just their way of trying to re-engage your emotional currency. That's their panic talking, because when you stop giving them a reaction, they lose their place in your head, and they know it. Your indifference isn't the absence of love or strength. It's the refusal to waste either on the unworthy. Now here's a question you need to ask yourself. What's the cost of your reaction? Because every time you react to nonsense, you're spending focus. You're spending time. You're spending your internal peace on something that didn't deserve it. And worst of all, you're showing your hand. You're revealing your weak spots. You're telling people exactly how to get to you. Indifference, real Stoic indifference, keeps you unpredictable. It keeps you focused. It keeps your power contained, rather than spilled all over people who didn't earn it. This isn't about being robotic. It's about being disciplined. Feel everything, but act only when it's worth it. So next time someone tries to bait you with gossip, drama, guilt, shame, manipulation, give them nothing. Not because you're scared, not because you're frozen, but because you've reached a level of mastery where you see the game, and you've already won it by walking past the board. This is what we build here on Stoic Spark. Not the kind of fake confidence that shouts louder when it's insecure, but the kind that moves in silence and remains centered in storms. The kind that leads people to ask, how are they not fazed by anything? If you're feeling this, if it's clicking now, comment below, I am my own fortress. Not just as a phrase, but as your identity. And if you've been dropping it through the video, you're not just watching a mindset shift, you're living it. Number 7, practical tools. How to train your mind daily. Everything we've talked about so far, emotional control, detachment, the fortress mindset, sounds powerful, right? But here's the truth. It's not built in a single day. It's not some motivational rush you get once and keep forever. It's a discipline, a practice. And the difference between the reactive and the unshakable comes down to what you train your mind to do every single day. So let's talk tools, let's talk rituals, because building an untouchable mindset takes more than theory. It takes execution. Tool number 1, the morning rehearsal. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning before the world hits you, you hit it first, mentally. Ask yourself, what could go wrong today? Someone may insult me. A deal might fall through. Someone I care about might let me down. This isn't negative thinking, it's mental armor. Because if you rehearse the blow, it doesn't surprise you. And what doesn't surprise you doesn't control you. Tool number 2, the pause. This is simple but deadly effective. Train yourself to never respond in the first 5 seconds of an emotional trigger. Count to 5, breathe. Let the urge pass through you like a wave. And while everyone else reacts on impulse, you'll be responding from clarity. This tool alone can stop fights, prevent regret, and give you the edge in any situation. Tool number 3, emotional journaling. This isn't your basic Dear Diary fluff. This is a tactical breakdown of your emotional weaknesses. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what got to me today? Why? And what did it reveal about me? Don't just vent, analyze, reverse engineer your reactions. Over time, you'll notice patterns, and once you see the pattern, you can break it. Tool number 4, voluntary discomfort. This is a forgotten weapon. Most people live their lives avoiding anything uncomfortable, and that makes them soft, reactive, and weak. But when you practice doing hard things, cold showers, fasting, long walks without distraction, workouts that push you, you're telling your mind, discomfort doesn't scare me. You're proving to yourself that peace doesn't require ease, it requires endurance. Tool number 5, the power of detachment statements. Throughout the day, repeat phrases that anchor your mind in stoic detachment. Things like, this does not belong to me. Their actions are not my responsibility. I am only in control of my response. These aren't just affirmations, they're code, mental programming. And over time, these statements will become your natural instinct when chaos hits. Tool number 6, strategic silence. Sometimes the strongest move is to say nothing. Let others talk. Let them rant, accuse, assume. You don't owe everyone a reaction. You don't owe them an explanation. And when you remain calm in the face of noise, it unsettles the ones trying to shake you. Practice choosing silence, not as weakness, but as deliberate restraint. You don't need to master all of these at once. Start with one. Make it a daily ritual, then add another. Stack the wins, build the fortress. Because the goal isn't to be perfect, the goal is to become immune to the petty chaos that steals most people's peace. And here's the thing, Most people will never do this. They'll stay stuck in loops of reaction, letting others push their buttons, ruin their mood, and control their energy. But you're not most people. If you've made it this far into the video, you're already proving that you want more than just survival. You want mastery. So take a breath, lock in, and comment it again. I am my own fortress. Let everyone scrolling past know you're not here to be liked. You're here to be unshakable. Number 8, situations are tests. Pass without reacting. Every day, life hands you pop quizzes. Someone cuts you off in traffic. A coworker throws shade in a meeting. A friend takes a shot, masked as a joke. These aren't just annoyances, they're tests. Not of your intelligence, not of your strength, but of your control. And here's the rule. You pass the test by not reacting. When you respond with calm, you're not weak. You're showing discipline. When you let something slide without letting it shake you, you're not passive. You're proving dominance. The people who test you the most, they're showing you where your peace still has leaks. Use them, thank them, then pass the test by staying composed. Your ego wants to fire back. Your pride wants to defend itself. But your higher self, it smiles and keeps walking, because silence is often the loudest answer you can give. So now you know. The real power isn't in how loud you speak or how strong you look. It's in how calm you remain, how little you let shake you, how little access you give to your peace. Every insult is a test. Every betrayal is a lesson. Every moment where you're tempted to react is an opportunity to rise above. You are not weak for not fighting back. You're not soft for choosing silence. You're strategic, and the world doesn't know what to do with someone who can't be triggered. So here's your final challenge. For the next 7 days, train like a warrior. Not with your fists, but with your focus. Every time you feel that urge to snap back, to explain, to react, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I am my own fortress. Drop it one last time in the comments below. And if this resonated, if it woke something up in you, like the video, subscribe to Stoic Spark and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next mindset shift. We're building something different here, not followers, not fans, fortresses. Until next time, stay calm, stay sharp, and never let them shake your peace.